summer.
In fact, it's anything.
Well,
The ungodly demons of the dead.
Ever seen a movie so bad it's actually amazing? The 1980s gave us some of the most wonderfully terrible sci-fi films ever made. We're talking rubber aliens held up by visible strings, robots made from painted cardboard boxes, and special effects that look like someone's science fair project gone wrong. From space vampires to killer robots, these movies had everything, except good acting, decent effects, or logical plots. Let me share some of these treasures that turned movie night into comedy gold.
Hostile tribes. Battle deadly beasts.
You're the Hunter from the Future, 1983, has to be one of the weirdest movies ever made. Imagine a muscular caveman with flowing blonde hair who fights dinosaurs, but then discovers he's actually from an advanced civilization with flying robots. The special effects look like someone filmed toy dinosaurs in their backyard. The worst part? R.O.T.O.R celebrates every victory by doing this ridiculous victory dance that had us rolling on the floor, laughing. My friend Tommy tried copying that dance at school and got detention for disrupting class. We had this running joke where we'd do the R.O.T.O.R every time someone aced a test. The movie's theme song was so catchy bad that we'd sing it during gym class. R.O.T.O.R's world, he's the man. Even our gym teacher started humming it.
a solitary warrior of Great the Finder. His enemies.
Metalstorm, The Destruction of Jared Sin, 1983. Tried so hard to be the next Star Wars that it hurts to watch. It's about this space cowboy driving around a desert planet in what looks like a souped-up dune buggy, fighting a bad guy who kills people with magic crystals. They made it in 3D, which mainly meant lots of things being thrown at the camera. Every 5 minutes, something would fly toward your face. The villain looks like he raided a Halloween store and hot glued everything together. I remember watching this at Brian's house, and his mom kept asking if we were feeling sick from all the 3D effects. We weren't. We were just dizzy from laughing so hard at the hero's awful one-liners. Robot Jocks, 1989, promised giant robots fighting each other like a big boxing match. Cool idea, right? Well, the robots looked like plastic toys being moved by very visible strings. The pilots would shout these terrible catchphrases while sitting in cockpits that were obviously cardboard boxes painted gray. The best, worst, part was when the robots would punch each other in slow motion, and you could totally see the wires holding them up. My little brother got so disappointed that he rebuilt the whole final battle with his action figures. And honestly, his version looked better. We spent that whole summer building robot suits out of old boxes and challenging each other to backyard matches. Mom wasn't too happy about losing all her packing boxes.
Given the truth, however, they seem redeemable.
There is only one man who can save them.
Space Mutiny, 1988, is legendary for being hilariously bad. The hero, who we nicknamed Bulk Vanderhuge because he looked like he spent more time lifting weights than acting, runs around a spaceship fighting bad guys. They used the same explosion footage like 5 times, and the space scenes were stolen from another show. The funniest part? A character dies in one scene, but shows up in the background of the next scene, just walking around like nothing happened. We had a Space Mutiny viewing party where everyone had to drink chocolate milk every time they reused footage. By the end of the movie, we were all so full of chocolate milk we could barely move.
Across the farthest reaches of fantastic adventure. Galaxina, the untouchable.
Galaxina, 1980, tried to be a sexy space comedy about a robot woman, but ended up being just plain awkward. The robot talks like she's reading a phone book, and the crew of the spaceship tells jokes so bad they make dad jokes sound brilliant. There's an alien that looks like a hard-boiled egg with arms, and a motorcycle gang that somehow rides their bikes in space. The worst scene involves a guy falling in love with a space chicken. Yes, you heard that right. When my friend's older sister rented this for our movie night, we spent more time making up our own dialogue than listening to the actual movie. We ended up naming our school's science fair project Galaxina as an inside joke.
Great sushi. But there's Miss Pirate and explorer of the cosmos.
The Ice Pirates, 1984, should have been great. Space pirates stealing ice because water is rare in the future. Instead, we got guys in tinfoil suits chasing each other on what looks like the inside of a high school gymnasium. There's a scene where they fight evil space herpes. I'm not making this up. That look like rubber balls with teeth. The special effects are so cheap that the space battles look like someone waving flashlights around in the dark. My cousin and I tried recreating the sword fights using wrapped up wrapping paper tubes as weapons. We managed to knock over Grandma's favorite lamp, and she banned all space pirate activities from her house after that.
The universe.
What are you gonna do? Knock my...
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, 1988, is exactly what it sounds like. Alien clowns who wrap people in cotton candy and drink their blood with crazy straws. The clowns look like someone took regular clown masks and stretched them out to make them more alien-like. They shoot popcorn that turns into little killer monsters and use balloon animals as weapons. This movie scared my friend Mike so much that he had to skip his little sister's birthday party because they hired a clown. The shadow puppet scene, where a clown makes a T-Rex shadow that eats people, became our favorite thing to try at sleepovers. Nobody ever managed to make it look right, but we sure used up a lot of flashlight batteries trying.
What would you do? It's the Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet, 1984, starts when a comet turns almost everyone into red dust or zombies, leaving only a few teenagers alive. These Valley girls end up fighting zombies while still trying to go shopping at the mall. The zombies look like they just rubbed some red makeup on their faces, and the empty city scenes are just regular streets early in the morning. There's this great scene where they play shooting games at the arcade to train for fighting zombies. After watching this, my friends and I begged our parents to let us go to the arcade, claiming we needed to train for the apocalypse. Somehow, that excuse didn't work, but we did start carrying red Kool-Aid powder around, pretending it was comet dust.
And suddenly, those who had
Creature, 1985, is such an obvious ripoff of Alien that it's actually funny. Instead of a spaceship, it's set on one of Saturn's moons, and the monster looks like someone wrapped a guy in garbage bags and gave him claws made of aluminum foil. The best part is when they try to make the creature look scary, but you can totally see the zipper on its back. The actors keep looking in the wrong direction when the monster appears, like they forgot where it was supposed to be. We used to play Creature in my basement, using my dad's old raincoat as the monster costume. Things went wrong when my little sister got stuck in the coat and knocked over the laundry rack trying to chase us. These bad movies just keep getting better. Hit subscribe. There are plenty more hilarious 80s sci-fi disasters waiting to melt your brain.
Mutants, for it's a new kind of war being of the Thunder Warrior. It is
America 3000, 1986, happens 900 years after a nuclear war, where women rule the world and men are called seedies. Everyone talks in this weird future language that's basically just normal words said wrong. The warriors ride around on dirt bikes, wearing what looks like leftover costumes from a school play. There's this one scene where they fight a giant mutant turkey. It's just a guy in the world's worst bird costume running around and making gobbling noises. My friend's dad fell asleep watching it and woke up during that scene. He was so confused, he thought he was having a weird dream. For weeks after, We kept using their silly future words at school until our teachers made us stop.
The brains to mastermind the operation.
We need a full...
Eliminators, 1986, is about a cyborg who teams up with a ninja, a scientist, and a riverboat captain to fight an evil scientist. The cyborg looks like he's wearing a cardboard box painted silver, and his robot legs keep changing between shots. Sometimes he rolls on tank treads, sometimes he walks. They couldn't make up their minds. The ninja barely does any ninja stuff because I think they ran out of money for stunts. The worst scene is when the cyborg's legs malfunction and he has to get dragged around on a blanket. After watching this, we tried building our own cyborg costume using my wagon as the bottom half. It worked great until we tried going down the driveway. Fastest cyborg in the neighborhood, but not in a good way.
The Forbidden Zone. Their mission, save 3. Columbia Pictures presents outer space as you've never...
Spacehunter. Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. 1983. Sounds awesome, but ends up being 3 people driving around a desert in what looks like a broken down RV with guns glued to it. They were trying to make it 3D, so there's lots of stuff being thrown at the camera. Rocks, sticks, whatever they had lying around. The bad guy rides around in this weird vehicle that looks like a restaurant high chair with wheels. The worst part is this scene where they fight these mutants, who are just people wearing rubber masks that keep falling off. My buddy Mike got so inspired, he tried to turn his bike into a space vehicle using cardboard and tinfoil. It lasted about 5 minutes in the rain before turning into a soggy mess.
That would kill him.
Control!
He is the only one.
The Dungeon Master, 1984, is 7 bad movies in one. This computer nerd gets sucked into a virtual world where he has to fight different bad guys using his smart watch, which somehow has magical powers. Each battle looks like it was filmed by different people who never talk to each other. There's a scene where he fights a heavy metal band in a fantasy world. The special effects are basically just colored lights and smoke machines. My friend Danny got detention because he kept trying to control the school computers by talking to his calculator watch like the guy in the movie. We spent a whole weekend trying to make our own evil challenges in my backyard, but it mostly ended up being us throwing water balloons at each other. Hyperspace, 1989, isn't just bad. It's amazingly bad. A cop chases a criminal into space using a spaceship that looks like they glued cardboard boxes to a car. The space scenes use obvious toys on strings, and you can sometimes see hands moving the ships around. There's this one scene where they land on an alien planet that's clearly just the desert with some Christmas lights stuck in the sand. The alien costumes are just scuba suits with plastic masks. We tried making our own version using my mom's camcorder and my sister's toy spaceships. Our special effects were just as good, honestly, and we were just kids with a flashlight and some string.
Indestructible, ever-changing, evil.
Xtro, 1983, is one of the weirdest alien movies ever made. This guy gets abducted by aliens and comes back 3 years later, but now he can transform into anything and creates weird monsters by laying eggs. The alien looks like someone wrapped a person in black garbage bags and stuck random tubes on them. There's this scene where a woman gives birth to a full-grown man in the middle of a hospital. It's so ridiculous we couldn't stop laughing. The worst special effect is when they try to make a tank toy look life-sized by filming it really close up. My friend's mom walked in during the birth scene and banned us from renting any more movies without asking her first. For weeks after, we kept leaving toy tanks around the house to scare each other.
To the unknown has uncovered a new...
Star Crystal, 1986, is basically just Alien if it was made with a budget of about $5. The monster is clearly a puppet that they wiggle around while making hissing noises. The spaceship looks like they filmed inside a basement and put Christmas lights everywhere. The best part is when the alien starts learning English by watching old cartoons on the ship's computer. It ends up being friendly because it liked the cartoons so much. We tried convincing our science teacher to show it in class as an example of space biology. Surprisingly, she didn't go for it. For months after, whenever someone was grumpy, we'd suggest they watch cartoons like the alien did.
And it's drawn in a creature from and is eating the Pottermans out of house and home.
Terrorvision, 1986, is about a family who gets a satellite dish that accidentally picks up signals from an alien garbage disposal, bringing a weird monster into their home through the TV. The monster looks like a pile of rubber and slime with googly eyes, and it grows bigger every time it eats someone. The whole movie is shot in this super colorful 80s style, with the weirdest furniture you've ever seen. The family's bomb shelter is decorated like a disco. We were all scared to get cable TV after watching this. My dad had to promise that our new satellite dish wouldn't pick up any alien garbage disposals. For months, whenever the TV had static, we'd run out of the room screaming. Our cable guy got really confused when we asked him to check for alien signals. Mutant Hunt, 1987, is about cyborgs who get infected with a virus that makes them evil. They look like guys painted silver wearing Halloween masks. The fights are so slow you can see them waiting for each other to throw punches. There's a scene where they try to make it look like a cyborg is super strong by having him very slowly bend a plastic pipe. The main hero stops in the middle of chases to fix his hair. And no joke. We used to act out the fight scenes in super slow motion during recess. The playground supervisor thought we were doing some kind of weird modern dance and actually complimented us on being artistic. We never told her the truth.
Reminiscent of Star Wars.
Cyber Ninja, 1988, combines ninjas, robots, and terrible special effects into one amazing mess. The Cyber Ninja's costume looks like they covered a karate uniform in aluminum foil and Christmas tree lights. When he uses his cyber powers, they just wave a flashlight at the camera. The evil robot army is 3 guys in the same costume running around different corners to make it look like there's more of them. The final battle happens in what's clearly somebody's garage with some spray-painted cardboard as decorations. My friend tried to make a cyber ninja costume for Halloween using emergency blankets and battery-powered Christmas lights. He ended up looking more like a crumpled disco ball, but at least he won Most Creative Costume. R.O.T.O.R. 1987 tries to be like RoboCop, but ends up being comedy gold. The robot cop looks like a guy in sunglasses and a motorcycle helmet who walks really stiffly. He has a robot horse too. I'm not kidding. It's just a regular horse they painted silver. The best part is when R.O.T.O.R. chases bad guys while doing this weird robot run that looks like he really needs to use the bathroom. Every time he shows up, they play this terrible electronic music that sounds like someone sitting on a keyboard. At school, we started doing the R.O.T.O.R. walk whenever we were late for class. Our math teacher finally had to make a no robot walking rule. These wonderfully terrible movies prove that sometimes the worst is actually the best. If you love these gloriously bad sci-fi disasters as much as I do, smash that subscribe button. More cinematic train wrecks are heading your way.